Hi everyone. Um, Hi, welcome to our class today. We're gonna get started on the mat in just a moment, but I'll let everyone get themselves set up. Um, Blocks are optional, as well as a blanket or any sort of cushioning that you like for your practice. So we are going to be going into some lunges and some work where we'll be on the knees. So if you know you have sensitive knees, it's definitely great to have some cushioning, or you can also just hold your mat over during those times. And then blocks are also great to help for balancing and stretching. So yeah, everyone can get started in a seated position and just close the eyes down. Get comfortable. There's no special way that you need to sit. Just arrive in this moment here. Tune into the breath. And without trying to control it, just watch as the chest and the belly rise and fall. Noticing any sounds in the environment, any sensations in the body. And without getting caught up in any of the thoughts that are passing by, just keep your attention lightly on the breath. Now notice with each exhale, if you can just pull the belly back a little bit and see if you can empty out a little bit more, lengthening the exhales and activating that core lock, that Uddiyana Bandha, and lifting through the pelvic floor, activating our Mula Bandha. Take a deep breath in. Allow the belly to expand, the chest to rise, and then allow the breath to just fall back out of you. Pulling the belly back to assist with this. Last time, inhale, big breath in. Exhale, hugging those locks, emptying completely. And then you can flutter the eyes open and make your way into a tabletop position. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And we'll once again activate that Uddiyana Bandha and that Mula Bandha. So hugging into the core, belly button is tucked in towards the spine. Finding your breath once again. And then keeping the hips stable, reach the right arm out in front of you and the left leg back. Toes point down, the left glute is engaged, and we're making sure that the low back is not tilted up, so just a nice gentle tuck of the tailbone, which can also happen by just activating that low belly lock. And then on an exhale, the elbow comes to the knee, round the spine, tap them together, and then extend back out long. We'll do that 3 more times. So inhale, extend long. Exhale, round and tap. Extend long. Exhale, round and tap. Extend long, last time. And tap. And then extend it long. Bend the knee so that the back of the foot is pointed towards the ceiling, and then reach around with your right hand. See if you can grab the foot and then kick the foot into the hand as you lift the leg towards the sky. Gaze can go upwards. One more full round of breathing, centering yourself at one gaze point. And then extend back out long. And place the hand and the knee back down. Wag the hips side to side, looking over one shoulder and then the other. And then finding yourself back at neutral position. Extend the left arm long, right leg back. And then find your center here. The core locks. Take a breath in. And then exhale, round the spine, knee taps elbow. Inhale, back out long, extending both directions. And then exhale, round and tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Last time, extend it long. Exhale, knee taps elbow. Extend it long. And then bend the knee, reach behind with the left hand. You can grab for the outer or inner edge of the foot. And then kick it back high so that this is really opening through the left chest. Gaze can go high. So hugging in through the belly, protecting the low back by activating the glutes. One more full round of breath. And then exhale, release it forward and back and down to the mat. This time you can take some cats and cows. So on an inhale, looking up, belly drops down, shoulders are down the back as you look up in cow. And then tailbone tucks under as you begin to round through the spine. Belly lifts up, shoulder blades press away. And then inhale, cow, looking up. Exhale, cat, rounding through the spine. Take a few more at your own pace. You can even bring some movement into the hips during these. Movement into the neck. Finding the rhythm of your own body. And then coming back to neutral, extend the right leg back and behind you. Once again, keeping the hips squared down towards the mat. The tendency here is for the right hip to lift. You just tuck that back down. And then bend the knee, foot points upward, and bring the right knee to the right tricep. Tap it there, and then bring it down to the right wrist, through center, and then back up behind. So take 3 more of these circles, opening through the hip. Nice and slow with core control. And then take 1 more, and this time place the right foot outside the right hand. Lower the hips down. Come onto the fingertips as the heart comes towards the sky. Looking up into our lunge. Hands are on the inside of the foot. And then lift the left heel towards the glute. Look over that left shoulder back at the foot. And then put the foot back down, straighten through the right leg, toes point up, half splits. And then plant the right foot down, come back into our lunge, lift the left leg back again towards the glute. This time look over the right shoulder back at the foot. And then plant the left foot back down, straighten through the right leg, half splits. And then we'll flow with this. So putting the right foot back down, this time looking over the left shoulder back at the foot, and then straightening through the leg. Inhale, bend the knee, looking back over the right. Exhale, straighten through the leg. Inhale, bend and look over the left. Exhale, straighten through the leg. One more time each side, bend and look over the right. Exhale, straighten and fold. Inhale, look over the left. And this time, you can reach back with the left hand, grab for the inside edge of that left foot, and hug it in towards the glute. Breathing to that left psoas muscle, still engaging through the left glute, so not really tugging too much on the foot, but letting the hamstring and the glute do most of the work here as we lengthen and strengthen. And then release that leg, come back down. Maybe you come down to the forearms, maybe you stay here, but take a few breaths in lizard. Maybe you rock side to side. And then extend back into tabletop. Walk the hands about a handprint in front of where they were so that you're in a little bit more of an extended tabletop. And then lower down chest and chin, so elbows hugging towards the side. Hips are lifted. And then hips come down, heart comes up for a low cobra. Reaching the heart towards the sky, pressing the mat forward and lowering down. This time arms come out in front of you. Feet are planted down hard on the mat. And then lift up through the chest. Squeeze the glutes and lift the legs and the arms both up for Superman. Breathing here, squeezing everything forward and back in equal and opposite energies. And we'll hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Create a cushion for your head with the hands. And rock the hips side to side. Leave one cheek on the mat. And then this time, bring the arms alongside your body. The palms will face down, and we'll take a locust pose. So lifting through the chest and lifting through the legs, palms face down, squeeze the shoulder blades, and lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it back down. Bring the arms alongside you. Plant the hands right by the sides of your chest, and then bring the left knee up towards the left elbow, kind of like a half frog here. So your knee is coming towards your hand. Both hips are planted down on the mat. And just feel this opening in your hip. And then tuck the right toes under. Plant the hands right by your rib cage, and then lift up to a plank, hugging that left knee up towards the left tricep. Hold it here. And then lift the hips up and back. Left leg lifts for 3-legged dog. We'll take some circles now with the knee. So bend the knee. Take the left knee to the left upper tricep. Tap it, lower it down to the wrist, bring it through center, and then back out behind for 3-legged dog. So like what we were doing on tabletop, but now in our down dog. So the left knee comes to the left upper tricep, come forward, lower it to the wrist, back through center, and then up and back for 3-legged dog. We'll take 2 more just like that. So this time it can be more fluid, the circles. And then take 1 more and place the left foot outside the left hand. Rock forward and back with it. And then with the hands planted, bring the right foot outside the right hand and sink the hips down for Molasses Squat. Hands come through heart center. Rock it side to side. If this is hard on the hips or the knees, you can bring a block underneath the seat. And then pressing through both heels, lifting up your Mula Bandha. Rise high, arms come overhead, upward salute. And then hands come through heart center, Anjali Mudra. Bring the feet together to touch. Close the eyes down. We'll set an intention here at the start of our practice. Once again, reach the arms up and overhead, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, so flat spine. Hands come to the shins, the ankles, or the floor out in front of you. Nice, steady gaze point, hugging in through Uddiyana Bandha. And then plant the hands, step it back to plank pose. You could keep it in plank or lower the knees once again, lowering all the way down to the belly, hugging the elbows in. Coming forward into your heart opener, so either low cobra or upward facing dog. Coming back down onto the belly, and then coming up back into our tabletop position. Once again, we'll now take this on the opposite side. So left leg reaches out behind, bend the knee, and then bring the left knee up towards the left tricep, down towards the left wrist, to center, and then back up behind. And take 3 more big circles, just like that. And then take 1 more, plant the left foot outside the left hand, come up onto the fingertips, sink the hips forward, and then straighten through the left leg, fold for half splits. Planting the left foot back down, lift the right ankle towards that right glute, look over the left shoulder at the foot. And then plant that right foot back down, straighten through the left leg, fold. Coming back forward, bring the right calf towards the right glute, look over the right shoulder. And then once again, straighten the left leg and fold. Now we'll flow with this. So coming forward, looking over the left shoulder. Exhale, fold. Coming forward, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time, each side. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, fold, look over the left. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, look over the right. And then this time we'll stay and reach the right arm up and around, grabbing for the inside of that right foot. Hug the foot towards the glute and look over that right shoulder. Again, if this is hurting your knee or if this feels a little too deep for the hip, you can have a block and rest your left hand on the block, or you can cushion underneath that right knee. Breathing into this opening. And then releasing that back foot, coming back on through the tabletop, walking the hands a little bit forward, coming down, chest and chin, lowering, sneaking on through for a low cobra, or maybe this time it's high cobra, lowering back down. Extend the arms out in front of you, lift the feet and the arms up, Superman, inhale. Exhale, lower back down. Arms come down by your sides, palms face down. Lift everything up for Locust Pose, inhale. Just another breath in. And lower it down. Hands come by the side. Right knee comes up towards that right hand. Breathe into this hip opening for a few rounds of breath. It's like a half frog pose. And then tuck the left toes under. Pressing through the hands, lift the knee up towards that right tricep. And kick the foot back out behind for three-legged dog with the right leg lifted. Now bend the knee, open the hip, and then right knee taps right tricep. Come forward in plank. Lower the knee to the right wrist. Through center, of the knee towards the nose, and then back up behind for three-legged dog. And now you can just take 3 more circles like that, a little bit more fluid. And then take 1 more, this time placing the right foot outside the right hand, coming into our lunge, rocking forward and backwards with it. And then keeping the hands planted, step the left foot outside the left hand, and sink the hips down for Molasses Squat. This time maybe you rock side to side, find yourself a little deeper. Still keeping that Uddiyana Bandha, the core lock engaged. Looking up towards the sky. And then pressing down through both feet. Reach the arms up overhead, upward salute. Arms come through, heart center. Bring the toes together to touch. Close the eyes down and release the arms for Tadasana, mountain pose. We'll take 1 full sun salute A just to complete our warm up. Greeting the sun, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, diving down. Inhale, fill up flat in the back. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to plank. Exhale, lowering through chaturanga or to the belly. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra, tops of the feet down, press through the hands, engage through the legs, and then roll over the toes, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Our first official down dog. You can pedal through the legs, really activating each fingertip, each toe mound. Shining the elbow creases forward towards the mat, activating the back body muscles. And finding your breath. Reach the right leg out behind you. Once again, three-legged dog. Maybe you give the ankle a few circles. And then hug the knee towards the nose, roll forward to plank. And then step that foot in between the hands. Ground the back heel. Maybe you step it in about a foot. Straighten through the front leg. Flatten through the back, look forward. And then fold over the legs for pyramid pose. Keeping the hips square. If the right hip comes forward, just gently guide it backwards. Maybe you bring the right foot a little bit backwards. If you're having trouble with stability here, you can bring the right foot out a bit wider. And then coming up onto fingertips, we'll take Revolved Triangle. So keeping the legs as they are, walking the hands towards the right. Maybe the left hand can plant outside the right foot. If not, you can stay on the inside. We'll hug that right hip back as we reach the right arm towards the sky. This deep twist. Looking up. And then looking down towards the foot, we'll stay and launch onto the right foot, coming into revolved half moon. So the left fingers come out in front of you, the left leg reaches back and lifts up as the right arm reaches towards the sky. So you can bring the right hand to the small of the low back to make sure the hips are squared. Chest is spiraling up. Breath is flowing through. And then bend through the right leg. Step it slowly back into a lunge. Put the left hand down, right arm up for a twisting lunge. Energy coming out through both feet in opposite directions, strong through the legs. Both heels are energized and engaged. And then we'll circle this right arm up and around to bring us up. And then we'll open it wide for warrior two. So right toes point forward, left toes are parallel with the short edge of the mat, and the arms come out wide as our gaze is over that right middle finger. And then flip the right palm up to face towards the sky. Left hand goes down the back leg, reach the right arm up. For peaceful warrior, left arm can also go behind the low back. And then coming back through warrior two, straighten the front leg, parallel the feet towards the short edge of the mat. Bring the arms out wide to a T. Fold over the legs. Maybe you grab for the outer edges of the feet. Maybe you interlace the hands behind the back. But let the head and the neck release. You can sway side to side, rocking the hips. And then slowly bending into that left knee, the right toes point up, coming into Skandasana, our squat, our half squat. And then you can extend both arms out long, reaching the chest towards the sky. And then maybe with the help of the fingers, plant the right toes down and then sink into the right knee, coming into Skandasana on the right side, opening the arms out wide. And then you can find your own intuitive movement here. So going as deep as feels comfortable, swaying back and forth a little bit. And then coming back up into that wide-legged fold. And this time, we'll point the right toes forward, keep the left foot parallel, and then bend into that right knee, plant the right arm down, reach the left arm up for side angle. So the right hand is planted on the inside of the right foot, or if this is too much for the knee, the right forearm comes to the upper thigh, and we spiral the chest towards the sky. Left arm reaches up and over across that ear line. One more breath wherever you are. Plant the right hand down, and then the right foot will sneak over to meet the left. You can cross the right ankle over the left for a side plank. So either stacking the feet, or you can drop the right knee for a modified version. Taking a few rounds of breath, hugging the hips up towards the sky. And then roll it forward back to plank. Flow your vinyasa, so coming forward on the toes, lowering halfway for chaturanga. Heart shines forward, upward facing dog, pressing to the hands and the feet. And then roll over the toes, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. And then lift the left leg high out behind, three-legged dog. And then if you can, keep the leg straight, otherwise bend the knee, step the foot in between the hands, and then straighten through the left leg, ground the back heel, toes can point out a little bit towards the right front corner of the mat. And then with both legs straight, flatten the back, look forward, and fold. Lifting back up to a flat back, we'll come into Revolved Triangle. So keeping the feet as they are, walking the hands over towards the left hip hugs back into its socket, so plugging it back, planting the right hand either outside of that left foot or in front of it, or even to the inside, whatever is feeling comfortable for your hips today and your balance. And then you can reach the left arm high. The strength is coming from the root lock, that mula bandha, as well as from the earth through both of the feet, pressing down through the toes. And then you can lose your balance if that's all right as well. We'll come straight into revolved half moon. So bending through that left leg, launching forward, right hand stays on the ground, left arm reaches towards the sky. And then bending through the left knee, we'll gently plant the right foot back behind. Right hand stays planted, left arm reaches towards the sky for a twisting lunge. So opening the chest. Keeping both legs strongly involved here. And then the left arm circles around, reaches back up as you plant the back heel, opening wide for warrior two. Left toes point forward, right toes are parallel with the short edge of the mat. Really orienting the shoulders over the hips. We're facing towards the long edge side of the mat as the arms extend long and the gaze follows that left middle finger. Arriving here once again with the breath, returning to that intention that you set. And then flipping the front palm, reverse your warrior, lifting up and back with that left arm, reaching towards the sky. And then coming forward and down, left arm comes to the inside of that left foot, right arm reaches up and over for side angle. And then we'll come back up to warrior two, straighten through that left leg, parallel the feet so that we're once again in this wide-legged fold. I'll face you guys. And then interlace the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest high, and then fold over the legs, keeping the palms together, squeeze the shoulder blades away from your body. Nice opening for the chest as well as the inner thighs and the hamstrings. And see if you can fold just a little deeper by hugging the core in, and that really pulls you down, keeping a micro bend in the legs and the knees so that we're not locking out through the joints. And then the arms come back down. Reach yourself up halfway, fingertips out in front. And then extend the arms out long to a T. Squeeze the glutes, lift the arms all the way up. And then reach the toes out wide, heels come in, and sink the knees down for goddess pose. So cactusing the arms, fingertips face forward, and we'll just pulse here. Can bounce a little up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, calling that inner strength, and 1. Reach the arms up overhead, get long star pose, and then paralleling that back foot to the back edge of the mat, the right toes point forward, coming back for a brief warrior 2, and then right arm comes forward. Oh, I'm sorry. We're on the opposite side. I'm doing opposite of you. So the left arm comes forward, coming back into that side angle. The right arm reaches across the ear line. You can again bring the left forearm to the left thigh as you reach the right arm overhead. Left hip tucks underneath the body. And then roll that right arm down. Left arm plants as the left foot comes to meet the right in our side plank. Right arm reaches overhead. Again, any modification, so the left knee can come down. Or if you want more of a challenge, the right leg can reach up and hover. We'll hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Right arm comes down. Flow through your Vinyasa. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, heart opening. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can set the knees down, bring them wide towards the edges of the mat, toes together to touch, and sink the hips back for child's pose. Finding a few rounds of breath. We swaying side to side. And then coming up, crawling back to sit on your heels. And then reaching up, coming up onto the knees. Reach the arms up overhead. And then dive the arms forward, empty out in cat pose. Rounding through the spine, tucking the tailbone under. And then coming up for cow. And then coming forward, lowering chest and chin down to the mat. Sneak on through for a low cobra, lifting the heart towards the sky. And then sinking yourself down, splitting the knees, coming back to child's pose. So that's our moon salute. We'll take a few of those. Just at a nice slow cadence, using your breath to guide you. Coming up, inhale, reach the arms overhead, up on the knees. Exhale, dive forward, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, lowering chest and chin. Sneak it on through, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. 1 full round of breath. Come back high on the knees. Inhale. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, lowering chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's. Inhale, last time, reach it up, upward salute. Exhale, dive it forward, cat. Inhale, belly drops, cow. Exhale, lowering down, chest and chin. Inhale, hips come down, heart lifts for Cobra. Exhale, child's pose, one round of breath. Inhale, come back up high on the knees. We'll take camel practice from here. So we'll do camel 3 times. If you know that your low back is in a little bit of pain from camel, or your knees, I suggest bringing a blanket underneath the seat or folding the mat. And I suggest also tucking the toes if you're new to camel or if you know you have low back sensitivity. Otherwise, if you know that this just does not work in your body, you can take a back bend on your back, so either bridge or wheel. So beginning on our knees, we'll bring the hands to face behind on the low back, so the fingers point down, shoulder blades squeeze together, elbows point back. We'll just begin to reach the heart towards the sky, so lifting the chin up. And as you do this, I want you to lift on Mula Bandha, so that pelvic floor lifts, that low core lock engages Uddiyana Bandha. Squeeze the seat, and just try to, without moving the low back or the lower spine, just squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit more and begin to bend through that upper back. So keeping the core engaged, and then see if you can begin to tilt back a little bit more towards the mid spine. Still keeping engagement through the seat. And then maybe drop one hand back, maybe the other, pressing through the heels so the chest is lifting high. Squeeze the shoulder blades, engaging through the core and the seat still, so everything's engaged. Then keeping it engaged, come up at the same time, both sides. So you're not coming up one arm and then the other. Hugging through Mula Bandha and through the seat is all stable. Lifting it back up. Sitting back onto the heels. And then maybe take a few neck circles. Taking any rest you need, coming to a child's pose. So you should really feel that when you really engage during that camel practice and you don't just kind of fall back into it, it's really a strengthener for the quads, for the core, and for the glutes. So we'll take 2 more, just like that. If you had the toes tucked under, maybe this time you see if you can keep them flat and see how that goes. Otherwise, you can keep them tucked and then flatten them while you're in your camel. So again, hands come to the low back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, hug in through the core, tuck the tailbone just a little bit, not dramatically, so we're not tucking like this, we're just doing a nice tuck, core engagement, and then squeezing through the seat, lowering slowly with control. And then if you want, you can allow the neck to drop back, squeezing the shoulder blades to lift through the upper spine. And then with everything still engaged, reach back up using your core, your glutes, and sit back down. This time that seat comes off to the right side, so we're on the right side. And then the left hand can come down, reach up and across the ear line with the right hand. Getting a nice side body opening for the right side, breathing to the right upper rib cage. Gaze is underneath the tricep. And then you can come back up, sit back on the heels, and we'll come back up onto the knees. Last time for our Cobra practice. For our Camel practice. So bringing the hands to the low back or the seat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the chest up. Squeeze the seat and Begin to lower back down, releasing one arm and then the other. Taking full rounds of breath. And then using your core, come back up slowly. Sink yourself down onto the heels. And now the seat will come off to the left so the toes are on the right side. And then reach the right arm down, planting it. Reach the left arm up and overhead. Side body stretch for the left. Looking underneath that tricep towards the sky. Opening the chest. Breathing into those long lines. And then coming back through to center. Sit on the heels, come up high once again. And then we'll come forward into tabletop, tuck the toes under, lift the seat up for downward facing dog. Now I invite you for a jump through practice. We'll go through this very slowly first, and then we'll go a little bit faster. So in order to jump through to the seat, one way to prepare is to take a nice tiptoe walk. So tiptoeing the feet towards the hands, and then when you can't get any further while keeping the hands planted, cross the right shin bone or the left over the left shin bone. So the right shin bone underneath the left. And then see if you can, while pressing the ground away with both hands, bring the knees through your hands all in front of you and sink the seat down. If that didn't work, totally fine. We'll practice one more time. So make your way back to downward facing dog once again. If that was easy peasy, then maybe you try to just do it in one short motion. So not walking, but just bringing the feet straight through the hands. It's not an upward motion, it's just straight through. And before you do this, just keep the collarbones nice and wide, shoulders open so you're not hunching. Shoulders are open, preventing injury. And then just hopping on through. And now that we're on our seat, lift the arms up, interlace the thumbs overhead, and then fold Paschimottanasana. Keeping the low back long, we'll remove the flesh from underneath the seat, so rocking side to side. Extend yourself long once more time, and then allow yourself to just melt over the legs. Inhale, come up high, plant the feet down, and then rock yourself a little bit back on your sit bones. Reach the shins high for boat pose, palms face up, core is engaged, and we'll stay here for 10 rounds of breath. Maybe you reach the legs straight. Shoulders back and down. Really focus on the legs, keeping them strong and powerful. Halfway there. Last round of breath. And then on an exhale, slowly lower the legs down. Hover them about 6 inches above the mat, palms face up. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it all down to the mat. Exhale nice and deeply. And then plant the feet down, knees point towards the sky. Allow the knees to rock side to side. We'll take an inversion today. I'll offer shoulder stand. If you're feeling more restful and you want to just kind of wind it down, you can always take a block underneath the seat for Viparita Karani. So instead of using the strength of your shoulders and your arms to hold you up, just keep the block underneath the low back and allow your legs to lift. You can also find a wall and just rest with the legs up the wall for Waterfall Pose. So just allowing your legs to rest on the wall. Otherwise, we use a little momentum to lift the seat up towards the sky as you squeeze the shoulder blades together underneath you. Hands will come to the low back as you reach the feet towards the sky. So hug the elbows as close as they can towards one another, lifting through the legs. Core is engaged, seat is engaged. Keep the neck in one position, so looking at one steady point on the ceiling. And breathe. You're in shoulder stand. Begin to lower the feet behind you for Plow Pose. Allow the feet or the toes to come to the ground. If you're not meeting the ground, you can just keep your hands supporting your low back and allow them to rest there. And actively press through the toes and through the legs so that we're not having this passive rounding of the spine, so the sit bones point towards the sky as if we were in a forward fold right now, except the other direction. So the palms can face down towards the mat. Hands can either support the low back, or you can bring the knees as well by the ears for Deaf Man's Pose. Send the legs back out long. Keep the hands by the low back if they're there. And begin to slowly lower each vertebrae down towards the mat. Hips come down by the mat. And then lower the legs down slowly with control until they're all the way down on the mat. You can bring the knees towards the chest, hug them in, rock them side to side, massaging the low back. And then planting the feet down, the knees point towards the ceiling, and then the right ankle crosses over the left thigh for figure 4. So then you can lift the left leg towards you, grab for the knee or the upper shin, or for the underneath the left thigh, whatever position is most comfortable. Flex the right toes, and then pull the knee towards you. You can sink the shoulders towards the mat. Let go of any gripping in the face and the jaw. And then cross the right knee. So continue moving the right leg towards the left. Right knee crosses over the left, and both legs fall to the left. So twisting with the knees crossed. If this is uncomfortable, you just uncross the knees and have both legs fall to the left. Arms can extend long to a T. Bring the right shoulder planted as you look towards the right for this spinal twist. And then bringing the knees back to center. You can plant both feet down and then cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Lift the right leg, grab behind the thigh or for the top of the shin and pull the legs towards you. Flex the foot generously. Feel that opening in the left outer hip. And breathe deeply into that opening. The breath is a portal for you into this moment, bringing you back again and again. And then keeping the left leg moving towards the right, the left ankle will cross over the left knee will cross over the right knee. Both knees will point down towards the right and just let the legs fall to the right. Extend the arms long, plant that left shoulder firmly down as you look over the left arm for a spinal twist. Releasing fully into the mat, allowing your body to just melt into the ground underneath you. And then bringing the knees back to center. Give them one last final squeeze, hugging opposite elbows, bringing the chin towards the knees, squeezing everything in together, firm all the muscles. One last bout of exertion. And then release it all down. Extend the legs long, extend the arms long. Cushion up underneath your head, whatever would make you comfortable in this moment. And just release it all for our final resting pose, Savasana. Bringing awareness back to the breath. Deepening into the breath. Allow movement to emerge from the body. Unfolding, awakening in whatever way suits you. I invite you to extend your Savasana, or you can end your practice together with me with one collective breath. Take a deep breath in and release it out. Bring the hands to the third eye center. The light in me sees and honors the light in all of you. Together we bow and honor. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you next week.